Dear friends, welcome to MMRC. We are discussing about the postmodernism and its impact on public administration. In the part 1, we discussed about the basic understanding of modernism and postmodernism and its impact on social sciences in general and public administration in particular. Now, we will continue our discussion on the impact of postmodernism on public administration. What is the meaning and concept of postmodernism? Postmodernism is one of the several subject approaches to study the social phenomena, usually emphasizing the interpretation of language as used with the process associated with a setting within the research practice in public administration circles. As such, postmodernism questions the validity of scientific approaches to public administration on the related subjects in social sciences and questions the meaningfulness of the concept of objective knowledge. It means, question is what is objective knowledge in public administration. It also questions the whatever we are calling the scientific approach to study the public administration. There are postmodernist writers like Fox and Miller, who are often concerned with the contrast between the contemporary state of public administration and various ideas set forth in normative theories they espouse as goals towards which public administration should evolve in the postmodern era. They basically raise the questions of contemporary state of public administration. Postmodernists understand social reality in a different manner when compared with the modernists. The assumptions that they make are completely different. Assumption is based on our understanding, based on our thinking, based on our consciousness. That is called, finally we say this is assumption, how that assumption will come. But how these assumptions are make a different. Postmodernism's basic understanding, basic things are different, their assumptions are make different. As I said previously, these postmodernists are perceive reality as a social construction, or they follow social constructivism. In postmodern theory, there are a concept called reflective interpretation. According to Farmer, the purpose of a reflective interpretation as a method of analysis is to ask persistently if things which are viewed one way based on prevailing assumptions might not be viewed a different way under other assumptions about social construction of reality. The point is, reflective interpretation is a analysis, is a method of analysis. How I am reflecting, how I am interpreting. Postmodernist says that instead of based on a prevailing assumptions, you have to view it a different way of the assumptions which constructs the social reality. Your assumption is coming from a basic consciousness which is developed on you from a different perspective, rather not on reality, is based on other values. You can perceive a social reality as you like by changing the lens through which you see it. While the behavioral scientist asks what things are, reflective interpretation asks about things appear to be. Farmer calls that a Pharaonist approach. There is a big difference between what things are and what they appear to be. This concept of postmodernism, as you continue with this, we will enter into another point, that is called perspectivalism, perspectivalism, which according to this Miller and Fox denies the existence of a transcendent truths. Generally what we are thinking about, the transcendent truths are the basis in philosophy, but here these people simply oppose it. They say there is no difference between the observer and the object that is being observed. In perspectivalism, the process of inquiry takes place in the context of ground realities, which includes localized intentionality, social practice and linguistic meaning. So, the important aspect is postmodernists are changing our lens, our thought process, our ethical value system, our objectivity, and based on that whatever you are thinking of a rationality. They attacks all these areas. Another important feature, the postmodern thought, it is the difference between appearance and reality in many areas of public administration. They give an example such as myth that capitalist enterprise is separate from and opposed by government and the network of laws. But it is not the case. The government and laws support capitalism. So, the important area is do not go by whatever an existing systems, go by the realistic situations. All the capitalists are supported by the government. Why? All the laws which are framed by the government are in support of the capitalist, otherwise a capitalist cannot run his organization. Simple. So, in reality a government person says that we are against of this, we are against of this. In practice the laws and situation and everything in support of them. There are certain terms and concepts of postmodernism which almost be familiar in order to understand it from the correct perspectives. These are the little bit of a new jargon they created in the postmodern contains and associated with imagination, deconstruction, deterritorialization and alterity. Imagination counters the limits of rational bureaucracy based on rule observance. We say that what is the rationality of bureaucracy? Following the rule. Imagination says once imagination, whatever the postmodern people saying in the name of imagination is, they questioning the bureaucracy's rationality. What is the rationality? Rule following is rationality. They question that. Imagination creates a situation, you are following a rule, rule is prepared for somebody and something, and you are thinking that that is a rationality. Absolutely not. While the modernists are based on a rationalization, the postmodernists relied on imagination. It is a method of analysis based on imagination. These writers, that is postmodern writers like John Farmer, placed an imagination between a perception and intellect. It is used to transform impressions into thoughts. For the postmodernists, the particulars become more important than the generalized notions or perceptions. What is imagination? It is between a perception and intellect. Perception, I felt like this, it is happening. Intellect, I am going to analyze a particular situation, based on that I am coming to a conclusion. It means it is transforming our impression, transforming our thoughts into a different type of a reality. So, for them the particularity is more important rather than a generality. You are coming to a generalized notion than but postmodernists are based on particularism, particular systems. They talk about deconstruction. Deconstruction of texts, events and symbols, they reveals how the reality is socially constructed and thereby enabling new perspectives. It is a postmodern method of analysis. Each and every point you deconstruct, start a new one. deconstruction tears a text apart, it reveals its contradictions and assumptions. However, its intention is not to improve, revise or offer a better version of a text. We are saying about a reforming, rewriting, editing of a text. We say that it is going to be improve it. But in reality here, what is a deconstruction means? It is a revise and you write a better version of a text. It is a way of appreciating the text under certain specific or a particular circumstances with an aim to dismantle the news received. They use this method of a deconstruction to question what lies underneath the seemingly well established categories such as bureaucratic phenomena. Now, they came to a clear point that what is a bureaucratic phenomena under the concept of a deconstruction, under the concept of a imagination. So, another postmodern writer like Zilori, he says language does not have a timeless or eternal meaning, but the meaning is a reflection of a specific context. The public administrators should use the method of postmodern analysis to re-examine their fundamental assumptions based on fixed paradigms, concepts and categories. Enhancing efficiency does not constitute good administration. We say all the time, what is that good administration, good governance, good system, efficiency, economy, effectiveness. Efficiency is the base mile, where from here we are going from here to another good one. Rather, a society in which the marginalized section of the community, poor, oppressed, downtrodden, women are liberated, that society is well administered. So, efficiency, you have a parameter based on a particular objectivity, particular rationality based on a particular ethics. Please rewrite, change your ethical, logical, rational, objective understanding, come to reality. Thus, efficiency is not an important criteria for the postmodernist. Efficiency should not be interpreted merely as a straightforward formula or a ratio, but in the words of Dwight Waldo, it should be within the framework of a consciously held values in the society. Whereas, in the postmodern conditions, the alternative values such as fairness, utility and autonomy may be furthered, but they must meet the formal requirements of the modern strategy to get recognition in the policy design phase. Deterritorialization. It refers to a radical change in the structure of thinking under postmodernism, opposing such rationalist concepts as a central planning and authority based structures. No territory. What is deterritorialization? No territory. We all the same say territory, this is my area, this board is having this control, this municipality, this is a ward, this is a system. Alterity refers to empathy which now focus on socially excluded and oppressed groups. In this process, the modern assumptions underlying representations is negated. It means the end of logocentric metaphysics of presence. So, these are the important aspect of basic concepts of alterity. They say it refers to the moral stance that counterweights the standard bureaucratic efficiency model of public administration. So far, you might not have understand or listen about these type of words. As a student, we have to understand the new concept of new systems are coming up, new concepts arised based on a different type of realities. It provokes our intellectuality and understanding. Whether we accept the postmodernistic systems or not, ideology or not, but it kindles a light in us to understand what is happening. So, this is the all type of the 4 areas whatever we are discussing here, they takes an anti-administrative stance in this regard. administrators to become less authoritative, more service oriented. This is the reality. But the postmodernists are saying, based on the reality, they are coming to a conclusion, and they said, change your lens and see. We are basically, our lens are efficiency lens, authority lens, centralization lens, bureaucracy lens, rationality lens. Please change. He said there is no single way of understanding, and diversity must be furthered. He advocated for alternative approaches to study the social phenomena and bureaucratic phenomena. They create another word, discursive democracy. Discursive democracy was developed by the Fox and Miller under a theory of a dialogue. What is a dialogue? It is against a dominant loop theory of a democracy, which developed the theory. It implies a proactive role of public administrators, whereas a loop theory model implies a passive role. They extended their argument, who held the postmodernistic repudiated the meaningfulness of a representative democracy. The public officials or administrators should be more pragmatic in their dealings with the population. They should look for adaptive process to create a democratic environment. To ensure the citizens do not struggle for access within bureaucracy, they are integrated into a change of relationship. What is the pragmatism according to these people? We are saying that there is a change to be understood in the mind of bureaucracy. No, that is not possible. It has to demand for a change in the relationship with the bureaucracy. This is called postmodernism. You are understanding that let us them change their mind, let us change their attitude once, then they think about no. The understanding of the relations between a bureaucracy and people has to be changed. They opine that there should be a re-engagement of the government with its people, and the participation of the civil servant in the different types of a social environments as conscious actors in a democratic system. It is not that I am going to be authoritative as a bureaucrat. As a minister, I am more authoritative, but in a realistic system, we have to serve to establish a democratic system. You are actors, conscious actors of protecting a democracy. Pragmatism demands experimentation and learning through experience, and not the rigid adherence to any particular system of governance. But it should be based on democratic understanding with its multiple realities and conflicts. A society is having a multiple realities, multiple conflicts. Public administration should be more facilitative in the sense that it should make efforts to involve citizens in the administrative process through collaborative pragmatism. They say, the postmodernists further they say, there should not be any grand theorizing of grand narratives in public administrations. The administrator should be transformative, facilitative, public service practitioner. Under postmodernism, there is also a concept called critical theory, according to which agents, administrators work towards emancipation. They try to transform the society through dialogue, discussion and education. Without a dialogue, you are not going to give a democratic system. Without a discussion, you are not going to get other fellows' opinion. Without an education, a person cannot raise his intellectuality. So, postmodernist point is, a conclusion is based on dialogue, discussion and education, but not based on the rules and regulation. The role of the administrators is that of a mediator, critical analysis, or in the process of resolving the tensions and stresses which arise on account of contradiction, opposition and negation. So, the whole important aspect what they are talking here, the role of administrator is a mediator. They raised another important concept called anti-foundation and non-foundationalism. Foundationalism means attempt to ground inquiry and thought of the pre-given principles assumpted to be true beyond more belief on unexamined practice. Opposite to this is a anti-foundationalism, which according to these authors, they questions the fact, truth, correctness of validity and clarity can be neither be posed, neither be posted nor answered in reference to some extra contextual, ahistorical, non-situational reality or rule or law or a value. Basically, this anti-foundationalism implies is a term applied to any philosophy which reject foundationalist approach. So, these are the anti-foundationalist oppose metaphysical methods of inquiry. In the name of working system, we will enter into a metaphysical inquiry system which is not based on a realistic situation. So, after listening to all these type of concepts, postmodernist theoreticians, they are raising about a basic fundamental questions of our understandings. They are questioning our understandings. They are asking about whatever you are seeing a reality, but in practice, in a condition wherever you are situated, you are unable to understand that reality. You accept a reality, but you can't conscious that reality. This is a realistic situation based on why they are questioning the basic foundations of our understandings. Our understandings are based on a different type of a objectivity. We are saying that is rationality. Based on that, we developed one type of ethic, and that we created a value. Based on that, we are living and understanding. Apply this to the public administration. The postmodernists questioned our understanding of administrative phenomena, bureaucratic phenomena, social phenomena. They are asking us to change your lens. Please change your lens. See the reality and identify the reality in the situation, whether the existing institutions are able to answer the reality. They question the democratic systems. So, friends, these are some important aspects of a postmodernistic systems, postmodernistic theories understanding public administration. What is the foundationalism and anti-foundationalism according to postmodernism? What is pragmatism and discursive democracy? What is the impact of postmodernistic understandings on bureaucratic phenomena?